So you're just beginning your AI journey, you're looking to win your first client and you don't want to invest. Well, I've made over very, very close to $500,000 in earnings on the Upwork platform in the last 2 years alone. Not only that, obviously I have my YouTube channel that you're watching me on now. I own multiple 7-figure businesses. So it's probably a good place for us to start when it comes down to winning my first client, because I remember where I was and how I did it. And those tools cost me $0. I paid nothing for them. And that is something that I'm going to share with you today, top to bottom, literally everything that I did and how I would do it again if I was you in your shoes. But before we do that, we have to look at a few core concepts around AI to reprogram your brain a little bit. Because AI in and of itself is not going to be able to generate revenue. It has to be applicable to business usage, time-saving usage, and I'll get into all of this in a moment. But the first thing that I want you to get into your brains and for you to understand is it's not what you pay a man, it's what he costs you, right? I'll say it again. It's not what you pay a man, it's what he costs you, okay? Now, what that means is when you are building and selling AI solutions for small businesses and improving their success, improving their bottom line, improving their revenue, this practical sort of advice is that a company doesn't look at how much it's actually paying you. If you walked up to someone in the street now, right, and said to them, if you give me $20, I will give you $40, and you did the exchange at exactly the same time, they would give you the $20 and take the $40 off of you. And that is exactly how you need to look at the quotation basis from an AI perspective. Before you even start to look at how we're going to win clients, which is inside of this, that is the mindset you need to have. Remember what you are saving for a company. It's so critical. So, what is AI and why should small businesses care? Which is a question that you should ask yourself, whether you're trying to sell the service or whether you are a small business. So, by definition, AI is a technology. It can perform tasks that usually require human input, but they can do it with human-like intelligence. Analyze data. They can make decisions. It can automate processing periods. Business value. When it comes down to business value, AI isn't just a cost. It's an investment that delivers returns by eliminating countless hours of repetitive, low-value work. Data entry is a big one. The biggest one for me as well, sales nurturing. The fact that businesses just sleep on their sales nurturing, that's a big one. Now, time ROI. So for every £1 spent on AI solutions, businesses can reclaim £5 to £10 worth of productive time. So that was previously lost to manual tasks. And when you understand that, and you understand that you're actually saving them money, that's why you can charge money. That's why people exist in the first place. Time is the one resource that you can never get back, no matter what happens. I bet everybody who's watching this video wishes they could go back in time and change something, or they made a wrong decision at a specific time. Well, AI helps small businesses stop wasting that time and brings you back into a position where your small business or your sales techniques are actually in a position where you should be adopting AI so you can get that time back and leave yourself in a position where you can ultimately from there scale. It gives you the ability to be able to reduce it. Hiring should be at the bottom of your list. AI automation should be at the top of it. Now, AI adoption in small businesses, when you look at the market indicators and the growth and why this is something that is so appealing right now, is that 78% of small businesses plan to adopt or increase AI usage in the next 12 months. So nearly 8 out of every 10 businesses over the next 12 months are going to invest in AI. So it's a good space to be in if you're selling it. And if you're a small business and you're not doing it, you fall into the 22% of where you're going to be left behind and dinosauric, and if not, administrators through the door within 3 or 4 years, because everybody else is going to have fully AI automated solutions for just about everything. No-code AI solutions are growing at 30%, just over a 30% rate annually. What that means is that more and more people are adopting the no-code AI approach. Back in the day, you would have to have a team of like 15 software engineers to upkeep your SaaS platform or whatever. Whereas in this day and age, you're in a position where you can have no-code platforms built, like I do, then have someone like myself oversee them and keep the business functioning and ticking over, where you used to need development backgrounds in order to be able to do it. That's why Make.com and N8N are so powerful. N8N being the winner for me. But Make.com and N8N are so powerful because no-code AI solutions allow people with no programming background to understand business and be able to cut down the time. Average businesses save 15 to 25 hours a week with basic AI solutions before you even start talking about significant increases in sales, nurturing, etc. Just manual data entry, meeting summaries, reminders, Firefly's updated note-taking, HubSpot deal summaries and optimization, deal stage automations. Some CRMs offer these things, some don't, but they're not, when you knit them together with a no-code platform, they are incredibly powerful. So the question is, why now, right? The answer to why now is that there's dramatically lower costs to implement at this stage than there will be in future and than there ever has been before, because you don't need all of those developers. You have significantly improved accessibility, no coding required. Say no code lightly. They call it a no code platform. You will end up understanding JavaScript, etc. In order to use like the code node, which is the power node for N8N. Literally, it's why it's the winner. But you have the ability to be able to do it with no coding experience. Acute labour shortages driving automation needs. So, labour shortages for smaller manual tasks, and that level of work is something that is going to become redundant and is something that you need to get ahead of. Just what I've told you there and explained there, the fact that 78% of small businesses plan to adopt or increase AI usage in the next 12 months shows you exactly where you should be putting your focus as a business or as a service. You need to ensure that you're in a position where you stay ahead of the pack, because not only are they adopting it, some of them will be heavy adopters, and your service will be far, far, far inferior if you do not do it. With no-code solutions growing at 32% annually, that also means that the no-code platforms are in a position where they're constantly evolving, improving their service, and it gives you the opportunity to be able to press forward with it. Now, as we move on, the AI opportunity for service providers. So if you're a service provider here, right, and you're looking to try and win your first client with no money, basic automations have low complexity and low value, but they have value, okay? High complexity, a strategic AI implementation, very high complexity, highest value. But when you have custom solutions with higher complexity and medium values, and low complexity industry templates, medium complexity, high value, you're in a position where you can actually take automations, build them out, and move them from low value, as they are on the left side of the screen, or top left of the screen, to the right side of the screen and bottom left, because you have already automated structures in place for businesses that you work with. If you've built a HubSpot automation for churn risk detection for a business, every inquiry that you get or everybody you find with a HubSpot CRM system, you can offer that service, and 80% of the work is done. I'll get to that a little bit later. But the opportunity is the fact that it doesn't matter whether it's a basic automation with low complexity, it still has a value. It's just lower than if it's a higher complexity, but it's infinite how far you can go with it. You can literally automate businesses from top to bottom. Seeing businesses fully AI that are generating like hundreds of thousands every month. So that's the sort of scope, the way you should sort of strategically look at it. Don't worry if you fall into this category of being basic automation, low complexity, low value, because you're significantly ahead of the pack anyway by being able to build basic automations. Oops. Now, landing your first AI clients, no budget required. This is something that I did at the start of my journey. When I started my journey, I had no clients available to me from anywhere. I wasn't going to go and try and take clients from the agency that I work with, because morally that is wrong. You stick with your own task. I landed on my feet and said, right, I'm going to now try and win and onboard clients. I was setting my alarm 3 times a night so that I could speak to clients in the US. 85% of my client base is in the US. So I was in a position where I was going above and beyond, never mind about the work that I was doing in the day. Well, in this day and age, and the growth that we've got, we're very lucky, because these are the 3 places that I would start if I was looking to learn and earn. Okay, so Facebook communities are a massive opportunity when it comes to landing your first client. Join industry-specific groups where your target clients already discuss pain points. Offer genuine advice first, then direct solution inquiries to your DMs. Go into these groups, because AI is this wonderful magic box right now. And there's a lot of business owners, small business owners and business people out there that are posting in these groups with support on fixing their issues inside of their internal flows. Well, once you've built up a basic understanding, you will already know more than they do. So you can reach out with advice and solutions, and you would be surprised the amount of times that you can, instigate sales conversations later. Do not focus on it first. Focus on genuine value for free. That is the key. Then later on, if you fix that flow for them and you help them, they might need something else, and they will come to you and they say, well, can you do it? And you'll say, yeah, of course, if you can do it. Yes, of course. And then you will be able to spark a relationship from there. A slow burner. But I got myself up to 15k a month from Facebook groups alone for Google Ads management back in the day. So that is something which is incredibly powerful, right? And is why I set my alarms the way that I did, and it's why I worked. Now, another way of winning projects is actually free school communities, eventually paid ones. Some of the paid communities out there, like Nick Sarayev's Maker School, is they're incredible for their value. Offer lots of free templates that you can use, etc. But there are loads of free school communities that are available out there, and you should participate in AI learning communities where founders and small business owners gather to understand new technology, because you can position yourself as a helpful guide giving advice, and then that can transpire into being paid platforms. And a lot of these schools do have collab sections where you can actually go and work alongside other people and do it. And obviously, based off of my experience, like I've showed to you now, freelancing platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, I'm in the top 1% Upwork freelancers globally in terms of my earnings on the platform. That doesn't include anything I've done off of the platform in terms of winning clients through Facebook groups or anything. That is just platform only over the course of the last 2.5 years or whatever it's been. But these are specific places where clients are actively looking for your service. The problem you'll face here is that there's people like me who are experienced that you're up against when it comes to winning projects. But for smaller projects, getting yourself off the ground, cost efficiency, you can do that. It's key. But the core fundamental sort of note of this is that you don't need capital to start earning. You need to solve visible problems that you can see that businesses are already complaining about. You'll find all that information inside of Facebook groups, school communities, and you'll be able to work on those solutions and fix them from there. So that's important. Now, key client acquisition principles. Focus on the problems, not the solution/technology. Businesses care about the results, not how AI works. At the end of the production, once you've produced, they will expect you to explain what you've done. That's fine, but speak their language. Speak time saved, revenue increased, cost reduced, conversion rates increased from a sales perspective, staffing costs, scalability enablement from AI solutions. Demonstrate before selling. So, let me show you how this eliminates 3 hours of your day. When you're getting off the ground, you can offer them for free. If you don't like it, you don't pay. But we'll implement this and we'll run it for a week and we'll see if you like it. A pro tip, record a short video demo showing before and after time savings for maximum impact. If you have a flow, like of a manual data entry task that a client's got, show them what they have to do now and then show them a loom of what actually happens. And that will go a long way to giving you a leg up. Video is key. Now, building saleable AI flows, the no-code advantage, right? Identify time sinks, build it on free platforms, measure time saved. Okay, those are the 3 steps. Find tasks that businesses spend 5+ hours on weekly. Data entry is massive, and it's a simple. The reason I bang on about data entry is because almost every business is struggling with it and suffocating with it. But you also have the ability to fix it relatively easily, no matter what platform they are on. It gives you the ability to be able to solve their problems, right? That is why data entry is a big one. Sales is also a big one. If you can automate two-way agents, AI agents, or use tools like Closebot, etc., they're not free, you see. So this is why I'm trying to keep it as a balance. But data entry, moving one thing from HubSpot into Google Sheets or out of Google Sheets into HubSpot, into a Slack notification, these things that businesses aren't using, they're free. They're easy to set up, but they save 5+ hours a week for the business. So you can charge them for that. It's an important task. If you aggregate them over a specific amount of teams, you won't believe the amount of times I've looked and there's 20 people in a business that waste 5 hours a week. You'd see it. Build on free platforms using free tiers of Make.com, ChatGPT, N8N. I don't know why N8N. I didn't put N8N in here. N8N should be in here because N8N is the king. N8N is where you should go. But if you are starting from scratch and you have no code understanding, I would advise that you go to Make because of the interfaces. I'll show you right now. So I'll showcase this to you. This is a canvas inside of N8N, and this is a canvas inside of Make.com. Make.com has a specific amount of. You're really going to make me do this? Has a specific amount of free integrations with APIs. So if we create a scenario here, right, this is what Make.com looks like from an overview. This is what N8N looks like. You can already tell that N8N looks a bit more daunting as you go through the systems of selecting like individual apps that you work with. So it's a little bit tougher on the skin than it is when you look at a Make.com scenario. There are reasons why you should use N8N over Make.com, but that's not what this video is about. Both of these platforms can get the job done, so I wouldn't worry. Forget about Zapier. That's my advice to you. I would focus on N8N and Make.com. Then measure time saved. Document exact time savings to create compelling value propositions. Especially if you do this for a business, maybe you have to go out there and do it for free for somebody first. That gives you an opportunity to be able to be in a position of next steps and scalability. It's going to be something that gives you the ability to showcase, well, this is how I did X for Y and saved a specific amount of time doing so. A quick win is many platforms offer free templates you can customize rather than building from scratch. So 30% of the systems that are available out there to you, like those basic data entries I mentioned from HubSpot and stuff, it's literally just credential connection. You just literally connect to their platforms and use the templates. Not only that, inside of your individual inside of your individual schools and Facebook communities, people will share these. In the description of this video, I'll put a couple of my downloadable flows that you can use, so you can take them with you. But what you're looking for is high impact AI flows that sell themselves, sales nurturing, automated email sequences, SMS sequences that analyze responses, adjust follow-up messaging based on prospect engagement, and keep their lead summary warm. Data entry, extracting information from invoices, receipts, forms, and automatically populating databases and spreadsheets, whatever the business requirement has. Content creation, generate social media posts. You can do multiple different platforms. Blog outlines, email newsletters from single prompts or product information, and support triage like ticketing triage systems like Freshdesk, etc. Categorize and prioritize customer ticket routing, simple queries to automated responses and complex ones to staff, so that you split them up so that all of the basic stuff is taken away. Forget the jargon. What I'm saying to you here is focus on where the value is for the company. Don't just go and try and create this massive AI flow, which is what a lot of people do, which is incredible about AI agents talking to one another and there's an AI agent swarm. I do create content like this, don't get me wrong, to showcase value to you to help you build them, but there has to be an end goal when you're selling it. Like when you're actually selling the flow, there has to be an end goal. Well, what points, these 4 points on the page are not the only ones. There are others, but they're good places to start because it's where businesses spend a lot of time. Each of these solutions replace 10 to 20 hours of weekly manual work. The data entry one is a fantastic place for beginners because it's easier. The sales nurturing part is a bit more complex, but once you've nailed the sales nurturing, every business is different on touch points, but you would be surprised by how many businesses don't even have SMS marketing or don't even send an email out when they receive an inquiry. Honestly, it's ridiculous how far behind businesses are in terms of this at the moment, and it gives you the sort of the leg up. The compound advantage, right, to being in the AI space: build once, sell many. So it's like the 80-20 principle. After building your first AI solution, 80% of the work is reusable for future clients. I touched on it earlier. If you built a data entry system that took invoicing information from Stripe, from confirmed payments, and put it in a Google Sheet, and then pinged a message in Slack that the invoice was paid. Let's say that was your flow. Well, when you've done that, you have that available to you. So the next time you're on a call with a client, it might even be about something different, right? You might be talking about a different automation, and you find out that they've got that, they use Stripe, they use Google Sheets, and they use Slack. You can say, hey, well, how about this? I've done this before. It saved 10 hours a week for the client. You compound your value by having these available to you to use. No, you can't just take them and plug them in because every business is different, but you do reduce the workload quite a bit by having those flows built already. And the 80-20 rule is a really good principle to live by when it comes down to that. So, getting started and your next steps. Identify your first target market. I don't necessarily mean one industry here, but let's say you choose data entry. Think of a business that has a lot of data entry. Accountants have a lot of data entry, but could get quite complex with what they're actually asking you to do. Any business has huge data entry problems. So you could just laser in on data entry as your introduction. Pick whatever you want, but you could laser in on data entry. Then you can, sort of focus on that. Specialize in beats generalizing when starting out, because that gives you the ability to be able to reuse those flows and get yourself up to an income that you're happy with using them. The problem you're going to have is that you're going to open Pandora's box when you start working with a business, because you start working with the company, and then when you start working with said company, they're going to want more and more complex automations. It's natural, right? Okay, that's fine. But for use case purposes, after watching this video, pick one of those individual things that I mentioned, or your own, whatever you think saves time. I'm just giving you advice from my experience. Build a demo, so create and complete one AI workflow that solves a common problem in your target market, right? Join communities, share value, participate in 2 to 3 online communities. I would urge you, depending on how aggressive you're trying to be with this, if you're all in this, join as many as you physically can, observe them, comment, engage, provide value, provide information, but never give away your golden goose of your actual solution. Just answer people's questions, learn, soak up information. If you want more free templates and detailed tutorials, visit my YouTube channel. The link's here, but you're watching me on YouTube now anyway, no doubt. So you have it. Subscribe, and I will sort of take you along this journey of how you actually go about it. Maybe you want to see me do some Upwork applications. Maybe you want to see me, build sort of profiles in some communities on Facebook. Drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what you want to see, because I will build what you want and what you need to help get you from $0 to making of money. But ChatGPT, NAN, Make.com, they have free levels of platforms that you can use, so there's nothing to stop you getting started. Remember that it's not what you pay for AI, it's what it saves you. So start small, demonstrate value, scale from there. My name's Michael Elliott. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you go and nail your first client, because it certainly did me.